Speaking of getting persnicked, welcome to the Average Adventuring Party podcast.
Emergency.
Yeah, emergency episodes, volume 2.
It's like we have our shit together. Or not.
Hey, I've got a calendar and a spreadsheet.
Yes, but you didn't have our commitments this month on it.
Yes. Fantastic scheduling.
Which is why we have emergency episodes.
Hey, no, we had emergency episodes because Ray is slacking. I mean, sick.
I mean, to be fair, our last one were because sickness happens. What the hell, real life? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So, on that note, getting fucked and so on. What happened last time, you guys?
I have a ship.
I have a wife.
I have
Nothing.
my nobility.
He has no bells.
I think you misspelled virginity.
I mean, he is saving himself for the right woman, so it's he's a noble. He has to show discretion in all matters.
But not salty.
I thought they needed virile, large bloodlines, meaning sowing the seeds everywhere. At least that's how most nobles do it.
So we've established there's a ship.
It was eaten a little bit, just slightly chewed on as a chew toy for giant, fantastic manti, centipedes.
Bat bug things?
Yes, batshit crazies.
And your wife, Harey. Maybe we should go over their characters a bit. Just
Yeah, they'll remember.
Do we give valuable points for the villain saying, hey, leave me alone?
Nah.
Okay, just
do we re-up our Fabula points at the start of the session?
No.
Okay.
The only exception is if you have 0, then you get 1.
Okay. So, but yeah, villain showed up after we killed all her minions.
After she
Millions.
sent a tiny storm.
We killed a lot of things. We killed millions of them.
Yes.
And I was like, stop chasing me. Otherwise, I'll unleash the ancient terrors. And Harry's like, oh, yeah, is that what happens when you find your wife?
Yeah, so that's where we'll pick up.
That's pretty much what happened.
Is Persephone getting her carpenter to come check out the damage, and it's mostly superficial.
What a misleading name. He's not putting in any carpet.
Speaking of carpenters and supplies, can we refill our IP from the supplies on the ship?
No.
Okay.
Persephone has not. The ship was completely unfurnished.
Not even if we spend money.
Yeah, not even if you spend money. I mean, you could go back to town and spend money.
I mean, I'm assuming we have supplies for, like, the crew and then,
Yeah,
to go. Then we have the basics.
You've got, like, food, and they hadn't quite put the guns and things like that on the ship when you liberated it. Creatively
Reallocated resources?
reallocated resources.
Well, that means they didn't run quite as fast to come prevent me from walking away with it.
They still got their cannons.
That's how you were able to get away so quickly, is the ship isn't actually loaded down.
Fastest ship on the seas. So there.
You've noticed a significant performance degradation after putting all these assholes on it.
Just these two assholes or just my crew?
I mean, all of them in general.
Yes, but I'm going to treat my crew really nice. These two, I'm still waiting to see if they're going to die.
Do our limit breaks reset?
Yes, all of your sections reset.
Fuck that.
You should have died harder.
I should have just been re-rolling more. Oh, I got a success on this easy thing. I'm going to re-roll.
There actually is the concept of rolling to fail to generate fabula points, to spend fabula points to further the fabula point economy.
Yo, dog, I heard you like fabula points.
Fabula.
They're fabulous.
Fabuloso.
So yes, I'm
Clean
going to
your
get
floors.
the
Not a sponsor.
carpenter to, start doing the repairs. Everybody
Yeah.
else to get back to their positions.
Yeah, he's got some wooden plugs that he gets in. The millipedes don't look like they were able to take big bites out of it, but given time, they probably could have.
But still, that's splinters that bare feet are going to be going over.
Yeah,
Not be good.
he's got these cork plugs that he puts in, and then he's got a planer that he smooths it out. And by the time he's done, you guys actually round the northern island and basically rammed into the beach. There is a ship. It's about half the size of yours, and it is so. Think like you're looking at the beach. The ship has rammed into it and fallen over on its side so that all of its guns are facing out to sea. It looks like it has a gigantic hole torn in part of it, and there doesn't appear to be anybody around.
We should still be careful. It's possible that they have some sort of ambush set up and that those guns could fire upon us as soon as we draw close. Please forgive my impertinence. Harry, was it?
Yes, but what is impertinence?
I am about to ask an uncomfortable question.
Oh, well, that sounds uncomfortable.
Does your wife even wish to be wed to you?
How would I know? I haven't met her.
Then I will ask a second uncomfortable question. What will you do if she refuses to come peacefully?
Easy. I will bind her.
And if she refuses to be bound?
Well, that's what you do in prison.
I am asking if you are prepared to end her life if you are given no other option.
Oh, no, of course not.
I see. Then
It's hard to marry a corpse.
I do not understand why you would still wish to marry someone that you are so diametrically opposed to. And I pray that it does not come to that.
Okay. As soon as she sees me, she'll know. We're supposed to be married.
Yes.
Says so right here. He fishes in his thing and unrolls a decree that both says she is due to be bound for the rest of her life and that part of her punishment is marrying me. Right here, they say.
Suddenly things make sense.
One of the crewmates, they start prepping a dinghy for you guys. It says, "I don't think we should pull the ship any closer, Captain."
I don't think we should either.
Was your name Coral?
Do we have any sort of signaling equipment that we can use to communicate with your crew while we are on the island?
Do we have flares?
You could probably fashion one.
Okay. Or would Bubble work as a very rudimentary communication device?
Bubbles can't get that far from you.
Okay. Just checking.
But if you shine a light through bubbles. Rainbow.
I don't think that's going to help us.
We should not just take one flare if we have them available. We should take multiple, just in case.
Yeah, one of the he goes down below deck and comes up with another crewman who gives you these makeshift flares. Says they're only going to burn for a couple of minutes,
Couple minutes.
but they'll be nice and green.
Yeah.
We could also take a barrel of rum. I hear if you set it on fire, It goes very bright.
The crewmates look at each other and go, "No, we don't have any. We didn't pick it up yet." Look over at the captain. Look back at you.
That is a true shame. I heard that they were burned very well.
It burns very well because it's alcohol.
Yes.
Trees will burn pretty well too.
Starting a big fire on that island would be a tragic mistake for us.
A voice comes from beyond the pale. Do it again.
One of the crewmen says, we could probably start ferrying supplies off that ship if you want. It looks pretty run down. We might not be able to get all the cannons, but we could get something.
Let's get a dinghy of volunteers to go over there and check it out.
Yes, I could maybe refill my supplies from there as well. I'm very particular. I can mix some of my concoctions back together. You saw how effective they were.
Yes.
I must admit, they were highly effective against those foes.
Okay, a boat of volunteers and us three. We're gonna go check out that boat.
Excellent. Nothing bad can ever happen.
Only volunteers and minimal amount of people who are willing to come.
Yeah, they get...
And if it's safe, you guys can go root it as much as you want.
with the three of you, you could probably fit 5 more people in.
Okay.
So...
And to make sure any of the volunteers who want to come do this know how to use weapons. Just in case.
Most of them have boarding axes.
Okay, good.
And pistols. They ferry you guys over to...
Jarrett's in charge while I'm gone. Which is like the next guy in command, XO or whatever.
Sure.
The least drunk privateer.
No, the next
I'm sorry.
responsible person.
Well, see, joke's on you because that's a very popular name, so you have at least 6 of them.
Gerald the Elder.
Yeah, you get ferried over to the island. The boat is standing there. The side you can see looks like it's been ripped open at the back of the boat, and not any other name for the back of the boat.
The boat's asshole.
Well, it has one now.
Right in the boot deck.
It looks like it's been ripped open. And as you disembark, your guys start kind of swarming over it.
Very stern.
If you round the back of it and look at the side that's been rammed into the beach, is just completely ripped open. Your guys start pulling stuff out and just tossing boxes and crates. And at one point, one of them goes, "Hey, look what I found," and tosses most of a skeleton down.
Hey, be nicer to them.
He's not going to mind.
Well, give them a proper burial when you guys are done.
It is most distasteful to treat even the corpses of your foes like that.
Can I rummage around and see if I can regain any IP from the stuff in there? Make a roll for it?
Yeah.
What would that be? Insight, maybe?
I would say insight and dexterity would be pretty good.
Okay.
I would also like to search for that because I need...
This is very much a part of my class, and as I was figuring it out, I spent a lot.
Well, I also have no
16.
ranged options. Oh, that's good.
Okay. I'll let you recover half of your IP.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. That is just an 8.
An 8. Yeah, you probably find 2.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Basically, you start rummaging through. You find an old ship's surgeon kit that you're able to pull some extracts and things like that out of.
Oh, mercury, fantastic. It heals everything.
Like a surgeon.
I would like to rummage through the captain's quarters or what's left of them. Or is that the part that got ripped out?
That's
yes.
part that's just gone.
Okay, never mind then.
We'll say as you kind of start looking through, there's some definite teeth marks, but also there's just a section, we'll say it's I don't know, 10 inches circular, like completely circular. And it's got these charred edges, and it leads to outside. And then when you kind of look down and look up, that circle continues almost as if something burned its way from below the boat, up through the hull, through the captain's quarters, up through the top deck.
Huh.
Some sort of projectile weapon.
Now, does this look like it's going bottom up or top down?
Well, let's look at the displaced material and see where it may have ended up.
Unless it was all burned through. Have you never burned an animal with a magnifying glass?
No, such a thing is horrifying.
Oh, yes.
Why would you even bring up such a distasteful and cruel... I wish not to be in your presence.
Bored rich kids.
And,
I'll pull out a little magnifying glass and start playing with it.
I'm going to lean into a nearby crewman. If he sets the ship on fire, toss him in the lagoon.
It's too soaked through.
Okay.
It looks like it's been this way for a while.
Yeah, but if he manages it somehow, let him get a cold water bath.
Fair enough. They start pulling cannons off and start trying to figure out a way to get these light cannons onto that dinghy to take over to the ship.
They probably do one at a time.
Yeah, maybe they can fit one at a time with...
Put it in there and... Okay, the water is...
Yeah, if they paddle wrong, that poor little boat is going to go under.
I mean, what else are they going to do while we go get ourselves killed?
That's true.
Fortunately, nothing can go wrong.
Oh, honey.
Nothing bad ever happens.
Oh, honey.
Indeed.
Tell that to the last 2 ships that she's had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Third time's the charm. She didn't have us last time.
I'm still debating whether that's a good or a bad thing.
So, you guys have pillaged about as much as you're going to get.
Aside from the cannons, which is just going to be slow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to take your guys a while.
Looking at the where the ship has been ripped, am I able to tell, was it something physical that ripped it, or does it look like something some sort of fire or any other signs that the wood was manipulated in some other way?
So from what you can see, there is at least one gigantic bite mark, and then there is something that just ripped out
Yeah.
a side.
Okay.
I mean, it looks like physical.
Physical damage. Okay, so shredded wood, not like warped and distended or singed or anything like
Now,
that.
the angle of this, does it angle back to the lagoon, or does it angle from the land? Like how it crashed, does it look like it came up from behind and bit it, and they
I see.
marooned on, or did it come from the land, grab them, and drag them on?
No, it looks like something was at one side of it and hit it, starting below the waterline.
I will, as we leave the boat, it's ran aground, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, is the ground like sand or?
Oh, yeah, it's a nice sandy beach.
I would like to look for any sort of tracks and see where they might be headed, or if maybe it's something large has been here recently.
Yeah. I'll say, just without even digging too far into the palm groves, you find basically where the sand starts to become loamy dirt. You find maybe 24 graves. They don't have headstones; they're just stone cairns.
Unmarked graves. Seems that most of the crew on this ship did not make it.
Well, counterpoint, a fair number had to have made it, because I guarantee if it was just us three and y'all died? It's a lot of effort to bury bodies. So if there's, 12 to 20 bodies here, that means either one person did a lot of digging or a substantial number of crew survived enough to dig those graves.
I do not think I agree with that assessment. Do some of the graves look like they're older than others?
No,
They're all pretty...
they all look about the same.
I think that had they survived in large enough numbers, surely they would have taken those supplies from the ship with them.
Absolutely. I'm just saying, I wouldn't say most of the crew is dead. But the question becomes, why would they bury their dead but leave the supplies? We didn't find food, did we?
No.
They took all the food.
They took what was useful.
Well, if this ship has been here for some time, then the food would not be of any use anymore anyway.
I just think we should be prepared for my wife to have friends.
Always. Always prepare for more trouble than you think you're going to get.
Bernhardt
Yes.
is thinking to himself, I'm going to have to kill this man's wife.
So on average Tuesday.
It's never killed a wife before.
Yeah, you're able to see all of those. You can see where, we'll say, heading inland. You can see old drag marks and trees that are broken in different angles. It looks like something was pulled just further inland. It looks like if you've ever seen sled tracks, kind of like that.
So
Supplies.
possibly they took whatever they could fit in the dinghy or a lifeboat and just dragged it through.
Seems fair.
I mean, easiest way to carry stuff.
My wife is resourceful.
Your wife has killed countless.
Oh, so have I.
And you're so cheerful about it.
It's a job.
Have you killed the defenseless? The
He
innocent?
cocks his head. What is innocent?
Someone who poses no threat to you or anyone else.
Well, like about half my crew, you know?
There is visible, like, he is standing straighter, gripping his spear a little tighter as he looks at you and regards you and tries to size you up.
He reaches into another pocket and he's like, no, they always have their faces on this. And he pulls out like a wanted poster.
Yes, then they are not innocent. And he relaxes his grip on the spear.
He pulls one out with his wife. See, this is how I know what she looks like.
What does she look like?
Oh, she's horrid. She has a giant nose with a wart on it. She has like probably 3 teeth left at this point. And at this point, I think that the sketch artist was probably trying to make her look even more threatening and awful than she is. Although she might not be. Love does odd things.
Is that a part of this equation?
Money is.
Okay, I got you there.
Yeah.
I come from a world of arranged marriages, and I find this utterly depressing.
Don't worry. Maybe you can find somebody as lovely as my wife, too. Your father may arrange it. Oh, it is wonderful.
I would not trust any arrangement that my father makes.
I'm a pat Bernie on the shoulder like, and now you're being depressing. Shall we?
He flicks some sand off of his spear or some dirt, loamy dirt, and moves forward, continues forward.
Little Rabbit Mask kind of just tilts oddly and watches you like, huh.
Yeah, you start heading inland.
We're going to hit inland.
Not horrid and creepifying following behind you.
I'll say that during your trek, the tracks don't seem to be getting any fresher, but every now and then you can look up in the trees and you'll see one or two of those bat-like creatures that attacked you on the boat. They don't seem to be paying you any mind.
Perhaps something needs to give them a command for them to be.
Anyway, the tracks don't seem to be getting any fresher, and you see those bird-like critters. Anytime you see 3 or 4 or more, you see one of those millipede creatures curled up like a rock on the ground.
Does it look like they might be related somehow?
It's hard to tell without studying them too closely, but you only ever see like 1 or 2 of the bats without one of the millipedes.
Perhaps without some sort of force commanding them, they are simply content to subsist.
It's also hot and humid here, so a lot of things like to sleep during the day.
And it is quite hot, but you have plenty of tree cover, at least
That
protecting you
just
from the
makes
sun.
More humid.
Bernard wipes some sweat from his brow and shakes his head and just perfect, hair flip. You could, if there are any droplets of sweat, you just see whatever sun there is shining through them and making sparkles. And
Now I'm imagining his hair is waterproof like a duck. Just runs off him.
And he reaches for one of the clasps that holds his cape to his pauldron, and he undoes it and sheds his cape and ties it about his waist to try to beat the heat, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering how long it was going to take for you guys to realize it was fucking hot.
Meanwhile, this Persephone, she's used to this weather.
Yeah, she's used to this. This is heaven.
I'm all in black
Yeah.
and completely covered.
Yeah. And aren't you furry under there?
I don't know that.
You're sweating on the inside.
That's out of character.
But yes, I am covered in fur, so I am absolutely, happily miserable.
But no panting?
Not yet.
Eventually, you reach a stand where just trees have been cut off, so there's stumps all around you. And at the end of this area, built out of mostly just weird, uneven pine logs as a shelter, there is a bonfire going that looks to just be piled coconuts. And sitting on one side of the fire, there is a large dog, maybe. It's probably stretched out the size of any one of you. And you can see it's got a pair of horns jutting out of its forehead. It appears to be just kind of asleep on its side next to the fire. Working with their back to you is a woman. She appears to be working on some kind of still. And you hear the clinking of glass bottles.
Does she look anything like the wanted poster?
It's hard to tell with her back turned. She's wearing a particularly ratty suit of clothes.
Bartleby, here, boy. Bartleby.
Oh.
The dog perks its head up, and you can see it has really large, pointy ears. It looks at you, calling and whistling.
Take my mask off. Bartleby, it's Dad.
What in the...
What the fuck?
Looks over at the woman and starts howling.
Bartleby.
Sugar, I think you just fucked us up.
Taking the mask off, you see that Harry's face is actually just the same as the mask. It's a white rabbit face, but the whiskers actually now released from the mask spring out, and his ears kind of flop forward, and they are just wilted. He is fucking miserable. He is just what you've seen those hot rabbits before. Their ears are all red and floppy, and like just all the veins you can see in them. Like he is an overheated rabbit.
Listen, the last time I responded to hot rabbits in your area, I ended up at a furry convention. Fool me once.
Google, stop telling me there's desperate sluts in my area. I know, I have a mirror.
The woman spins around, and she's probably about the same age as Persephone. If she wasn't so dirty and disheveled, she would probably be very attractive. But she has a brace of pistols and a bottle of something in one hand, and when she sees all of you, she cries out, "I warned you to leave me alone!" And she basically kicks a large rock at the dog, who
You bitch! You stole my dog!
who yelps, and then gets up and kind of like gives her a look, and then starts growling at you guys. So we're gonna roll some initiative.
Yeah, I wonder who our initiative leader's going to be.
If I was smart, I would make you vary it up every round.
Yeah.
But I am not a smart man. I run a podcast.
That was a 3, not a 5.
What's your total?
We're not getting initiative.
That's very, very bold of you. So your leader is Harey.
5.
Oof. So I'm
A total of 6?
I'm
I rolled 14.
with a 5. I'm going to tell you, you can't get it.
Yeah. Like I say, that's nearly as bad as I can roll.
So since this is the first time it's happened, we'll explain the second half of the initiative house rule. Normally, it basically trades off kind of the way you've seen in that one side goes and the other side goes, etc., etc. When the players have initiative, I've been letting them dictate their order. When the enemies have initiative, the enemies dictate the player's order. So I'm going to let this crazy lady, what with a bottle in hand.
Beforehand, though, I get high speed. And I am going to perform a hinder or objective action. I'd like to perform an objective action
Get your dog to join us?
on Bartleby to try and get her to join.
That sounds like a good objective action. Let me slap a clock down on the board here.
Yeah, slap that big meaty clock across our face.
Because me calling out to Bartleby would be essentially this action.
It's an uneven clock. So this is for
The dog.
the dog. I'm going to point out, probably to Persephone and Bernhardt, and not Harey, since he is focused on the dog. The woman that is turning around screaming all crazy like and about to throw a flaming bottle in your direction looks nothing like the person on his wanted poster. Having said that, go ahead.
What am I rolling? I'm just fucking rolling dice.
Yeah, you don't even know what dice,
was like-
what characteristics you're rolling.
I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
So basically, you're going to roll against his modified willpower
Okay.
to try and get him on your side.
What am I rolling, though?
How are you trying to persuade him?
probably like pulling out a bone. So,
That seems like insight.
okay.
Insight and insight seems pretty good. Try to get in his head.
My first round does not succeed.
Well,
Most likely.
you got any
Yeah.
dim
Oh,
points?
no. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to spend a fabula point.
You've got lots of them.
Yeah, I mean,
Also, remember to fill in a limit section if you would like.
yes. Because I don't think 5 would beat his modified will. Ah, there we go. Much better.
Which trait were you activating?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hope. Because I hope this is my dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say that hope sounds like the right one.
Here, what was your total?
14.
14. So you get to fill in one section of said clock for
Okay.
succeeding.
Uh-huh.
An additional section for beating it by 2 or more, or by 3 or more, or 2 additional sections for beating it by 6 or more. You beat it by 6 or more.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you have filled in 3 sections of the objective.
Who has a bow? He's sitting here following. I'm waving it back and forth, and the dog's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I need to stop doing that.
So we've got...
Now she can chunk the firebomb at us.
Right. So the enemies have control of the round. Yeah, the dog looks particularly confused because he's torn between, the clearly loyal and loving master who kicked him with a rock and the guy who's waving around a nice big soup bone. So this lady is going to toss a firebomb, probably at you. You seem like a great target.
She wants some rabbit stew.
Yeah.
Okay,
Little pony on a stick.
so that is a. Actually, I forgot she had something. She's going to spend 10.
Oh, is she a villain?
She is not.
Oh.
Wow.
She is going to spend 10 magic points to do a barrage of flaming bottles. Let's see. Let's say evens. Yep.
Is she a champion?
She is not.
Okay.
So it's going to attack Bernhardt and Harey. Does a 14. I'm sorry, a 13.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So each of you is going to take 16 fire damage. As she just lights one bottle. She pulls a pistol, which the barrel glows red. She lights a bottle off of it, chunks it, lights another bottle, chunks it, and says, "Get away from my dog!"
My dog.
Did any of you use MP for anything?
Yes.
Nope.
Okay.
That's actually, I had to spend MP right there.
So since it seems to me that the most beneficial order of operations would be to allow Harry to go first, I'm actually going to allow Bernhardt to go first.
All right, excellent. So, Bernhardt's just seeing that the dog is being targeted for recruitment is going to try to be a distraction. Is it just her and the dog, no one else?
As far as you can see,
As
yes.
far as I can see? Okay. She's next to that still, right? Mm-hmm. Is the dog close to the still, or is the dog like the dog?
The dog is, so imagine, if you will, if you guys are here, there's a bonfire here, the dog is here, and she's all the way over there.
That's the dog.
Yes, this figure of Suna is clearly the dog.
So, wait, I'm sorry. Where's the still?
So the still is over here with her.
Oh, okay. So Bernhardt is going to have a galaxy brain moment and spend an item point. Mm-hmm. Does that still look like it's in use?
The still?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's running.
Fire shard into
Okay.
the still.
Oh boy.
So spend your IP. Someone else is going to buy that up from you and publish it for more money. You throw out one of these fire shards. It hits the still, which explodes. I'm going to say causing major damage to her. She looks like she is able to pat that fire out pretty quickly, though.
But the still has been disabled.
Yes, the still is disabled. And
Very lovely.
There's now a burning patch where it was. And she screams, do you know how long it took me to set that up? Now what am I going to do without alcohol?
And then Bernhardt is going to, with his movement, just make a beeline straight for her, his spear twirling. Now, of course, he can't actually attack her, but he is going to close the distance, going around the dog.
Correct. The dog, let's see, what does the dog do? What does the dog say? I'm going to say the dog is going to defend. He is going to guard himself, trying to figure out what to do, since he is confused.
Oh, I figured he was going to come get the bone.
He's confused.
After we fill up that pie.
I could be aggressively getting the bone.
He could be having rabbit stew himself.
Exactly.
So, Persephone.
Uh-huh.
I'll say it's your go now.
Okay. I would like to, how big is this clearing?
We'll say between 1 and a bajillion feet. No, it's, it actually doesn't, it looks like at one point, like a lot of land was cleared. Mm-hmm. The shelter was kind of hacked together and then nothing else has been done. So maybe 50 feet?
So 50 feet across?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the shelter is still intact, right?
Yeah, it looks like it could fit maybe 5 people.
Okay, and where is it in relation to the 2 bonfires we got going now?
It's pretty close to where the still was.
Okay, on the left or the right?
Right.
Okay. I'm going to try to flank around the bonfire, the dog, and the crazy lady in her burning still. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go left and around, mostly trying to get behind her.
Yeah.
And stay out of her line of sight. So if nothing else, I can try to grab her later.
I would say make me a dexterity and an insight check.
Okay.
And we'll go against her insight.
Okay, cool.
I cannot read those dice.
I can. Math. 13.
All right.
Would 2 more have changed anything on that roll that I get? Okay.
No.
Just double check.
Yeah, so Bernhardt starts running that way. Harey is focused on the dog, and Persephone disappears. Nobody even knows she was there.
I mean, you guys are pretty busy. I would disappear anyway.
She is going to get her second action, which is now to pull a gun in each hand and just start blasting.
Well, I'm in melee with her.
Yes. So I guess it's going to be you.
It's gonna be you.
I don't get to make a counter swing against that.
Nope, these are ranged attacks.
I hear it's now or never.
So she is going to... Oof. That is a 10.
No.
10 don't do it, huh?
No.
She, as Bernhardt starts charging towards her, she just starts letting loose.
You just see him twirl his spear with such practiced precision. Like he looks like he looks like he should be, leading armies into battle from atop a horse, as he just twirls his spear and just see. I won't say that he severs the bullet in midair, but you see sparks flying off of it as he twirls it so fast that he
Bats it away.
bats it away, and you probably don't catch that one of the little shards of the bullets, does actually bounce off of his armor as he is continuing to close a distance. An imperfection.
Oh no.
How dare. Harry.
Here, boy. Here, boy. Here's a good boy. Probably not. That was a 6, not a 7. 9.
9.
You can invoke something if you have any fabula points left.
So,
I do.
Uh,
But, no, I'm not going to.
I would.
Well,
+1, you got a bond?
here's the thing. We may have another fight coming, and I don't want to spend all my resources right now until I fuck up again. So, 9.
so the dog kind
There's
of
still enough.
like looks back at the woman who is blasting at Bernhardt, kind of looks at you and does that, like gets on his belly and starts crawling over to you.
I'll try and scritch his head on my next.
Yeah, you go to pet him and he like ducks you but keeps his eyes on that soup bone.
New initiative.
New initiative.
Don't suck.
Roll better, guys.
So same leader.
Yeah.
Double 7.
Nice. That's 14,
50.
15.
Now, my actual score is an 11, but I still got double 7s.
Correct.
9.
So
15.
what would you like as an opportunity?
Oh, gosh. Let's fill up that objective wheel.
All right. So the dog
Saves us a full turn.
Yeah.
the dog like goes to let you pet him, looks back over at his owner, sees her and kind of starts to back up towards her, and then she just unleashes this tirade of yells and curses against him, and at one point just like shoots the ground near his feet, at which point he skirts over behind Harey and kind of looks up at you.
That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Way to go, Bernard. Get her.
So who's going first this round?
I think I will.
Okay.
Can I direct him to get her? Like, would that be
Yeah.
my action? Or
No, not an action.
okay, I'm gonna say get her, and then I'm gonna run up and whack her myself.
Okay.
I know I just did this, but here we go. Dex and Ms. Now I'll spend that fabula point.
Remember to fill in a limit section
Yes,
and fill one in for losing hit points if you didn't already.
I did not actually. Thank you. I'm gonna re-roll both of those because a 1 and a 2 just ain't gonna get it done.
No, it's not.
And I'm gonna use my smiling bounty hunter because this bitch hurt a dog.
That's a crime somewhere.
Yes.
You get a 1 and a 2?
Yep. Different die this time, at least.
She's actually pretty deft and does a very fancy pirouette away while keeping up a steady stream of bullets.
What's the dog do?
What would you like him to do?
Sick.
Get her?
Get her. Get him.
Sit on her.
Get him.
She, there's this moment where you go to slice at her with your sword and you come up and she's just got a gun pointed right at your head. The dog just comes charging in. Hey, Mike's not the only one that drops dice.
I feel like I should be wearing a trucker hat saying, get him. Get him.
But the one you're wearing, it doesn't count.
A trucker.
That very handily hits her for 18 points of physical damage.
Good Bernard. That's a good boy.
And she starts screaming more and more about damn traitorous dogs.
All right. Well, it's her turn, I imagine.
Yeah, she's going to shoot that dog.
Oh,
Oh no!
Bitch!
And you know what? She's going to spend some points to shoot Harry for stealing her dog.
That bitch! I mean, I deserve it, but she deserved it.
The dog don't deserve it.
Agreed.
Does a 12 hit you?
Yes.
And it also hits the dog.
ooh, she's gonna take.
That is 14 points of fire damage.
How's the dog looking?
The dog looks like he just got shot, but
Okay, overall.
But fantasy shot or real life shot?
the guns that she's shooting appear to be hitting with bolts of fire and not actual bullets.
Yeah.
That's not really much better, honestly.
Yeah, is the dog in crisis? Is what I'm asking.
No.
Oh, okay. So the dog might be able. Okay.
But that was...
Dog is probably beefier than me. Well, you're right there with her, so I'm going to say you just saw her shoot me and the dog. What'd
Yeah.
you do?
I'm going to use one of my commander abilities. So I'm going to spend. Let's see. I'm going to do a Queen's Gambit. I use an action and perform a free attack. High roll equals 10 or equals 0. And after attack is resolved, I get to choose one thing. So I'm going to go ahead and swing at her with my spear as part of that action. And I do spend 10 MP. And I'll say, "You leave that noble creature alone!" as I thrust at her with the spear. Any idea that he was going to spare her life is now just out the window. Because how dare she? That will be a 11 with the heavy spear, and I'm going to go ahead and spend a fabula point because I want to bump that up to 1, and I'll tell you why. I'll bump that up 1 to make it a 12, and I'll tell you why I'm using my bond of mistrust towards my father. My father was also quite cruel to the family pets, and that incites a bit of indignant anger in him. Just to be on the safe side and also for role-playing purposes.
This is role-playing, not role-playing. Yes, that is a hit.
Okay. And so she will take 12 physical damage. And that dog is going to recover 10 hit points.
Nice. And does that trigger your limit?
It doesn't. I have actually triggered my limit twice. Once for spending the fabula point, and once because I restored HP or MP through a direct action to an ally.
There you go. She's going to take her second turn. One of her guns misfires, so she tosses it down, pulls another one out, and both of her guns start glowing just red hot. She is charging up an action. Seems like there's only one person left.
Okay. So first, Persephone's going to continue to move around the perimeter of this thing and get to behind the shelter. Moving closer to the action, but not quite there yet. And also going to activate bubbles and whack her. If nothing else, she's aiming for hitting the weapons out of her hand or just knocking her flat on her ass.
All right.
Come on, bubbles. Ooh, that's a no. Can I use fabula points on bubbles?
Nah.
Damn it. That is a
He uses scrub and bubbles points.
And he's all out.
yeah, that'd be a 7.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, Bubbles goes up to hit her, and she just like side kicks him away.
Oh, no.
Real quickly, is there an action for defending someone from ranged attacks?
That's what cover
Okay.
is.
Okay.
You step in the way of it.
No initiative.
No, she still has her action yet.
Yes, you still have
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
yours.
Fine, I'm going to shoot her then.
Okay.
It's that cool, like, camera at hip level, behind her, behind you.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to sneak up on her, but fuck this. She hit my buddy. Okay, now I'm going to use a valuable point.
Breaking out the bubbly.
Because that's not going to get me anywhere. Come on. Roll better. You. 10?
10 will not get it.
Okay.
So it's either 11 or 12.
Now no initiative. Yeah, there's... we'll say, y'all have that cool gunslinger square off. And as you shoot, your bullets just impact each other.
What you get?
16.
That means we have 12.
That's enough.
Excellent.
Party has control of initiative.
I like how you didn't even ask me. You just knew I failed.
I saw you shaking your head over there, so I had a feeling.
11. You saying you want me to go first?
I think so, yes.
Okay. First up, Bubbles. We're going to try this again.
It's going to try to hit her again.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's a no.
Just like, I'm so tired. It's so wet and hot.
Okay.
Yeah, Bubbles, like, this environment's not doing him any favors.
Yeah. Okay, shooting her. Oh. Okay. 6. 18. No, 17. Sorry.
17 will do it.
Okay, 18 physical damage.
So, let's see. She is now in crisis. And basically what happens is when you take that shot, it hits her, but before it does, it ricochets off of her gun, which flies out of her hand.
Yes.
And she just, like, freezes in place. Says, well, you can't take me in, and I'm not leaving, so we're stuck here. I've already started calling in the ancient and terrible evil of the island, so now you're not getting off the island.
That's fun, but if you want to sit down and have a talk real quick, we might actually leave you alone.
Hey, is your name, Fortuna?
No.
For Micah?
No.
For... I unscroll the scroll. What does it say again? For... What was my wife's name?
What was your wife's name?
Oh my god.
I've never met her. I can't read. I just go off the pictures and she doesn't match the picture.
How did the dog come? Is this even your dog? Did you just, like, steal someone's dog?
Bernard is very good. I've always wanted a dog.
I'm Bernard.
Oh my god.
Damn. No, you're Nobels. He's Bernard.
My name is Bernhard von Eigenwald. And are you telling me that we just assaulted this woman under false pretenses?
I thought she was my wife. Are you my wife?
No.
Do you want to be?
Also no.
I'm keeping the dog.
That's fine. He attacked me. I would have put him down anyway.
Come
Okay.
here. Come here, Bernard.
So
Come
this
here.
has become a giant clusterfuck.
Yeah, the dog...
Bartleby. The dog's name was Bartleby.
Oh, you're right. Oh, Bartleby. Oh, that's so much better than Bernard. Bernard's such a bad name. Good Bartleby.
The dog comes over and sits down next to you. It probably comes up to your chest.
Yeah. Very demonic looking.
No, I mean, it looks like... it definitely looks out of place here. Mm-hmm. But, because it's a nice, like, heavy, shaggy dog. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it starts panting and looking at you. And if you pay it positive attention, it eats it up.
I don't need a wife now. I have Bartleby.
Oh, dear Gord. Look, I'm sorry we had just ruined your day. We thought this idiot had identified his wife.
On at least one of the scrolls that he pulled out while looking for his wife, you definitely saw this woman's face.
Oh. But we came here for his wife.
Yes, but it appears that you have a bounty on you as well.
Yes, she does.
Let me see that poster.
Right there. I hand him like 8.
Mm-hmm. And
it is indeed Francisca Barrack.
Francisca Barrack?
Yes, the rogue pirate captain.
This Francisca Barrack.
I said Francisca.
You said Fortuna for Micah. This is our query.
Hey, you are my wife. I got a wife and a dog, both on the same day. This is wonderful.
Perhaps
Ears
you should
perk up.
perhaps you should show her the whatever that. I doubt this piece of paper means anything.
Oh, it doesn't, because you're not going to collect on it.
I see. Then, and tell us about then this ancient evil that you have summoned.
It's signed in triplicate.
Oh, that's well and good, but when you take off from the island, your ship will be destroyed. I think any more than that would ruin the surprise.
No. See, we don't have to leave now. I'm with my wife. We get to stay here together with you forever.
Look, if you want to smack him or, shoot him, I'll let you. As long as it's non-fatal.
Oh, then I'm not interested.
I mean, I'm trying to not get these two idiots killed.
Bartleby is such a good boy. Good boy, Bartleby.
You sure you don't want just to slap him a little?
I want to shoot all of you quite a bit, actually.
I don't blame you for that.
For nothing else other than destroying my still. Do you know how boring it is living on this island without rum?
I can imagine.
And do you know how many people you've killed?
Yes. Wait, no. Does it matter?
Why don't you try asking that question to their families?
Oh, I'll answer. It doesn't matter. They're dead.
Fair point.
Bartleby's such a good boy.
If you will not do what needs to be done, then I will.
I will. I absolutely will. Will you marry me?
No.
It'll keep him from killing you.
I'd marry her.
Oh, I appreciate that.
What? Why?
You're,
I'm soft. See? Pet my ears.
you're lacking some of the, assets I'm looking for in a potential mate.
Enough.
Like brain cells?
In the name of House Eigenwald, I hereby sentence you for your crimes. And the punishment
He always uses so many
is
words.
death. And with that, he will run her through.
Yeah. You run her through.
That was my wife. No bells.
She dies with a particularly sarcastic smirk on her face.
And he does not even care.
I think she'll be back. Yes, she was trucking with ancient and terrible evils. They always come back. But I got Bartleby. Bartleby's a good boy.
Okay, now what?
Well, this is a nice cabin here. But the rum's gone.
Perhaps now would be a time for us to use one of those flares. And he cleans off his blade.
I wouldn't do that yet. You saw the ship.
Mm-hmm.
If you signal our ship to come back, and she's already summoned the ancient and terrible evil, don't you think your pirate queen's gonna lose a third ship? I know she doesn't want that.
What does he mean, lose a third ship?
Yeah, this is the third ship.
Third time's supposed to be a charm. So, no, we don't
Hey,
signal.
Not my fault. One was the Empire. Actually, I think both were the Empire. Mm-hmm. The fucking Empire.
Actually, this one's the Empire's fault, too.
I agree
How
that
do you figure that?
Oh, easy. One is always the Empire's fault. But two, if they hadn't attacked and Coconut Harbor hadn't been forced to be privateers and get involved in the war, then my pirate queen, not you, of course, my pirate queen wouldn't have been forced to attack the city and, not become a privateer. So really, it's the Empire's fault for forcing her to become an evil villain. And if she wasn't an evil villain, you wouldn't be here. So really, it's the Empire's fault.
I agree that the Empire is to blame for much of the...
Fuck the Empire.
But she chose this life for herself. She could have chosen to rise up against the Empire.
Oh, yes. She
along
could
with the
marry
other
me.
privateers.
But all that's neither, how they say, here nor there. If you signal that flare, then our friend there loses another ship.
I'm less concerned about the ship and more concerned about my crew at the moment.
Exactly. They die on the
So-
ship. Horrible deaths. That's what it looked like.
So unfortunately, the crazy rabbit has a point.
So what do we do now, then?
Well, do you
I
know how
could-
to make a steel?
I
might
do
know how
not...
to make a steel.
I have had a glass of wine on a few occasions, but I do not partake of alcohol. I do not judge those that do. I simply prefer to keep my wits about me.
I'm going to start looking through the shelter, see if there's anything useful in there for this situation.
You find quite a bit of old food, a bunch of just, we'll say, like crates and crates of old clothes, and she, for a while at least, until she filled it, kept a journal.
Yeah, journal. I'm going to start rifling through that.
Yeah, it looks like she ran out of both paper and charcoal stick.
I'm going to take her guns.
I have ranged weapons now.
She kept a journal basically from the time that they got aboard the island. She found some kind of artifact in the inner jungles that gave her a very limited control over the weather, over the local wildlife, and from what she could decipher of it, would let her control some great and terrible evil, which she reckons is what grounded her ship in the first place, as they were leaving Coconut Harbor.
Okay. Does it describe what this artifact might have looked like?
It was some kind of jewelry, but she says that you could use it limitedly, and then if you ever voluntarily summoned the great evil, it would break the gem, because that was irreversible.
So, Persephone will come back out and start looting that body. Are you guys still arguing?
No.
No, I'm beginning to make a steel.
Did you put out the flames in the first one?
Maybe.
So what you're saying is you're still at it? She had what looks to be some kind of medallion around her neck that is broken and blackened.
Does it have, like, engravings on it?
Yeah, mostly pictographs showing tiny people worshiping what looked to be a giant shark.
Wow.
Yay, this is fun. She looks like she's sharpened a giant shark-ish thing.
Then perhaps we should warn the crew.
Yeah.
I hope the crew is still there and alive.
Anybody want to suggest how to do that? Doesn't involve them coming closer.
Let's see.
Well,
there's these pistols, and the flares can. Would it be possible for us to use the flares and the pistols together to fire the flare out in another direction?
The flare is basically, think like a Roman candle.
Okay.
So whatever direction you point it, it's going to shoot a signal fire out some distance.
All right. Well,
Can I initiate a project and make a giant bomb?
Out of what you have here, no.
What about a little bomb?
how about a project? Oh wait, you projects are your thing, right? Mm-hmm. How about a project to, like, are there any high trees or anything like that? Mm-hmm. Maybe we could get something where we could climb up and wave some sort of flag telling them to get out or something like that. If there's some sort of signal or something like that. Make a smoke signal or something like that.
So calculating the laden velocity of a laden swallow. If I were to build a trebuchet.
It would take you a very long time.
Okay. Just curious. And could he withstand the impact in the water?
No.
Probably not. You might not even survive the launching.
I mean...
And you would be going in there first. After the shit you just pulled, you would definitely be going in there first.
What do you mean?
And
I got the dog.
on that note, while you're having this argument, from out towards the beach, you actually see one of those green flares go up.
Fuck.
Oh, that's problematic.
But Bernhardt will immediately fire off his flare in response, just so that they know where we are. That way, in case they need to come to us, they know where we are.
Yep. So that flare that was fired is kind of still hanging in the air. Yours goes up, and then one way further south goes up, which is probably the ship.
Oh, the dinghy's in trouble. That's really bad, because that's our way back.
Yeah, I'm not requesting to you. I'm running to the beach.
Yeah, we are running and not even bothering to take any. For Bernhardt, it was never about the bounty. It was about bringing the duty of bringing justice to this unrepentant, horrible person.
I'm dragging my wife with me.
Oh my god.
We're leaving you behind.
Maybe.
I just let Bartle be eater.
The dog is running with you.
I'll sling her corpse over the dog.
Yeah, he's hefty enough to carry her.
Even if my wife is dead, I still have a bounty to collect.
He's got to get the dowry.
I need those 2 goats.
You get back to the beach, and
Screaming goats?
there is a particularly concerned-looking crewman who's got a long scope looking out at the boat. There's an empty flare on the ground, and when you bust out of the trees, he says, "I think you ought to have a look at this, Captain."
Okay, let me see.
He tosses you that scope, and when you look out there, you see the boat, your ship, and every now and then, just from a distance, a fin
Oh, boy.
will pop up, and it's about the size, like it reaches the top of the deck, and then it will go under, and you can see from this far away, you can see it actively circling the ship.
I'll instinctively hand the spyglass to Bernhardt and be like, yeah, she summoned a giant fucking shark.
We must distract it from the ship.
You got any ideas how to do that?
Any of these pistols look like they could reach out that far?
No. The ship had to stay probably a mile or so out.
You know, I've heard that sharks can smell blood in the water. Let's sit here and dunk her body a little bit. Make sure that there's blood coming out of it.
There doesn't appear to be any.
Do we vote towards putting him in the dinghy out there first?
We must save the crew more. That should be our top priority.
No shit.
And he is going to go ahead and get in the dinghy. And are there any cannons left?
They've all been moved over.
Curses.
They've been busy.
You've been busy, yeah.
We've been doing stupid shit.
Well, we've been murdering.
Well, when we got back to the ship the first time, we brought out all the dinghies and loaded them up at once.
Ah, that was smart. But I assure you, we were doing stupid shit. And I give Harry a particularly pointed glare.
Is there any gunpowder or anything like that left?
Yeah, we'll say there's probably like a leftover bag on this ship, on this dinghy that they didn't bring over for some reason.
All right. Let's see. Bernhardt will try to figure out some way to see if that can be used, but I don't think any of us can fling that very far.
No.
So let's.
Well, we can set up a miniature catapult with all three of us working on it and y'all listening to my directions, including you, dear crewman. We might be able to fit something that can fit in the dinghy, and we can create something that will launch at least a little bit of the gunpowder that way. What good it'll do us, I don't know, but hey, better than putting it in the shark's mouth with your hands.
I do not see any other option, sad as I am to say.
I have to agree, but I'd rather try to get the shark's attention over here.
Well, I believe that if we fire that barrel and strike true enough, then we will certainly draw its attention. Very well. We will follow your orders.
So we'll start a group project. Not a big catapult, like one of those little... You saw them on Greek ships. They used to have like miniature catapults that could do something. So nothing super technical, but...
Fling Greek fire.
Yeah, not that technical.
Yeah, so we'll start a little clock here.
So many sticky notes are being sacrificed for this game.
Yes,
It's
they
an
are.
eight section.
It is
one.
an 8-section clock, so that's kind of complicated. So...
Is it going to be like initiative where...
Yep. So go ahead and not initiative. You tell me, we're going to go around the table, and you tell me what you're doing to further this project.
Okay. So I am going to set up, like, grabbing pieces off the wrecked ship, find pieces of wood to basically set up the shell, and then start directing them how to start lashing it and all of that. So I'm assuming...
That seems like a wisdom and dexterity to me.
Okay. Is that insight or willpower?
I'm sorry, willpower.
Okay.
I imagine Harry trying to teach and explain to people requires...
That's double 5s.
Double 5s. All right, so you fill in a section of the clock. What is Bernhardt doing?
Bernhardt is going to be bringing over the raw materials. He is a strong boy. I can't use my thing to boost my might by 1, but I am just trying to bring things over as expediently as possible.
All right. So we'll say Harry has laid everything out, like all the pieces in basically the correct pattern, and Bernhardt is being the living framework holding everything together. So that sounds like a good might check.
All right. Ooh. 6 and an 8. That is a total of 14.
Yep. So these two have started actually putting things together. What is Persephone doing?
I think I could start scavenging for either rope or vine and fronds to make the basket that wherever is we're going to toss at the thing sits in, and the binding ropes.
Yeah.
Persephone seems like she would know about ropes and
Yeah.
tying.
Oh, yeah.
She's real good at knots.
I mean, number 1, ship.
Sailor. Yes.
Number 2,
That's clearly
yes.
Yeah, so it seems like it's a ways into the forest to find trees that can support vines. So you probably got to run pretty quick. So give me a dexterity and insight.
We should not force her to go into the forest unaccompanied.
Ooh. 13.
13.
I have guns, and I could probably kick both of your asses.
So there are 3 sections of the clock left. It's been the better part of half an hour. Most of it's coming together, but the gunpowder, you're not going to be able to build a catapult big enough to fling this full barrel, and also the barrel by itself is not going to cause much of an explosion. It's not particularly pressurized, but your crewman goes, Captain, and he points. You can see where this shark is, dipping up and then going down. And for a few minutes, it's quiet there. And then you see the shark come up full speed and just launch itself over the ship. It's probably about 300 feet long.
Now that's just showing off.
It could probably take a sizable bite out of your ship should it so choose. While it's in the air, you see all kinds of little critters drop off of it, and then it splashes down on the other side. It looks like your crewmen are now fighting on board.
Do we get a fabula point for the villain arriving?
You do.
Good, because I was out. We need to hurry.
Okay. I'm going to take what rope she has brought back, and I am going to pull the arm back, lash it, so figure might and dex. Trying to finish this quickly so we can...
Yep.
All the while, I'm asking him to be moving it to the boat.
I think we need to actually figure out how we're going to launch the fire or make it explode on this thing, because we can't send the barrel. It's not going to be enough to... So,
Well, before I do that, is there any jars or containers in the ship? Like, basically, is there anything that I can pour the gunpowder in and make, improvised pipe bombs or something like that?
Certainly around your belt.
item points.
You bastard. So what would I need? Or what would that take?
To start just making little charges, probably insight and dexterity to not blow yourself up. Seems reasonable.
Okay. 10.
Yep. So you're able to rig all of these little charges around the big charge. It'll probably give it some more explosive force and also a lot of shrapnel.
Excellent.
All right. And Bernhardt is going to get it moved onto the dinghy. And he's going to call for the crew member to help him move it. And just really put his back into it.
Yeah, the whole time the dog is just like laid out in the sand watching you.
Rolling in the dirt.
How many spots does the double 8 fill up? The
So what's your total?
16.
1, 2, 3, and then if should you choose, you can get some bonuses.
Let's go for. But we just filled up the objective chart. So what do you think? Defenses?
Maybe. Could he add an effect to the bomb, like weakening or stunning? Mainly like stunning, like whenever it goes off, it stuns in an area or something like
Yeah,
that.
I think that's reasonable.
Were there any bottles of rum left?
No.
No, the entire still and everything else went boom.
Yeah, went
okay.
boom.
I know, I'm just making sure.
Because if we shoot that over the ship or something, we wouldn't because we won't kill the shark with this. But if we fire it in midair, yeah, the shrapnel might hit the bad guys, might hit the crew, but it stuns everybody, so that lets us get up there and start fighting.
Yeah, I want to go for a stun effect. I don't think I want to go for shrapnel. I want to add some sort of stun effect that buys the crew some time.
Yeah, so you start loading it with big heavy stones. That way it's just a lot of bludgeoning damage as opposed to shrapnel damage.
I'm pouring out the nails that I put in there. Hold on.
Yeah, you'll get this charge rigged up and loaded. The crewman, pushes the dinghy off into the water. You guys are able to load up. And that shark, the fin goes down. Looks like it's going to circle around again. And when it pops back up, it's heading in your direction.
Oh, good.
We should.
Bartleby, come on.
The dog, rolls off of its back, shakes itself off, and then does a running leap onto the boat.
Yeah, good Bartleby.
And with that, all right, change of plans. Perhaps we should aim for the, or perhaps with that cloud of stones, we might be able to stun the shark as well and buy us some time.
Yes, punch it in the nose.
Really hard. Captain, if you would do us the honor of firing the trebuchet, and Bernhardt will brace it.
Certainly.
Me and the other crewmen will be rowing.
Yep. So as you're rowing,
Is Bartleby drinking seawater then puking it up in Harry's lap?
no, Bartleby's sitting there, like standing tall, ears flapping in the breeze behind him.
So's Harey.
As you're rowing forward, the shark begins to lift out of the water, and it opens this gaping maw that's...
Oh, there's something I want to do real quick.
Uh-huh.
Sorry. I want to pick up, what was her name?
Francisca?
Francisca?
And, it doesn't matter at this point.
And, no, I'm Bernhard von Eigenval. Not, who's Ferdinand? And I want to fling her into the shark's maw.
If it gets close enough for you to do that, you've got a lot of
Okay.
you have a lot of other problems.
Never mind. There goes that idea. But I will brace it for her to fire the trebuchet.
I will fire the trebuchet directly into this fucker's mouth.
Yep. So it goes to swallow you all whole. The trebuchet goes off, hits it just like square in the nose, and then explodes. It lets out this deafening roar as it passes right by your dinghy, which hits it, spins a full 3 or 4 times in the water.
I grab Bartleby and I hang on to him because I don't trust you to do it.
And then the lead rope just pulls taut as it wraps around that thing's tail, and your boat just gets yanked forward as it takes off back towards the ship. And I think that's where we'll end the episode.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
I got a dog.
I killed your wife.
And that's the important takeaway: is you got a pet.
I saved the dog. It's not just that I got a dog. He was in abusive relationship.
Going to not have any regrets about killing a dog abuser. So,
Yes.
I hope you weren't going to try to hit that, Persephone.
No, I was not.
Well, she was.
Persephone has standards.
She was.
Yes, I do.
But it's a different kind of hitting. She meant with that fist.
Oh, I was going to say if she was a kitty abuser, it's a whole different problem.
Either way.
And on that note, find us at the places, do the things. Yeah, the big one. Go to iTunes, leave us a review. It's a real long shot, but I would love to podcast for a living. So, you pay us more, we do more.
True.
Having said that, that's all I got. You guys got anything?
Nope.
Nada. All right.
Missed out on married bliss by that much.
The spear's a bit longer than that.
You missed out on something.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.